So welcome everyone. Welcome to the two-day online meeting. I forgot the title. Already the case ad infinitum. It's a dismantling of the illusion of the individual. So here's a disclaimer. What is being expressed cannot be fully be expressed. Every word is an attempt to express something that already is. It does not require any kind of learning, even understanding. So what's being suggested here is the sweetest embrace of something that is not separate, an impersonal embrace, an all-encompassing acceptance. This unconditional, sweet embrace transcends all kinds of notions of acceptance or rejection. The undeniability of this profound what isness is not a pursuit. Rather, it's a recognition, a perception inherent in every experience, although there's no experiencer. This is an open invitation not to attain this sweet embrace or this unicity of what already is, but to effortlessly realize its appearance in every moment. Every facet of experience, thoughts, sensations, feelings, tastes, sounds, smells, it already is embraced as it arises unconditionally. The notion of embracing or allowing what is merely directs attention to the acknowledgement that these elements have already been embraced. There's no doership, so to speak, just a full-on embrace of what is, impersonally accepted. Even rejection is an acceptance of something that is already is. It has nothing to do with the illusory individual or experiencer. Everything comes and goes as it is. And it's beautiful. It's soft, it's subtle, it's ordinary. It's always here. It can never be denied. It can never be accepted, because for what already is this. Even if negotiations come up and trying to reject or accept what is already, is irrelevant. Any thoughts that come up, any ideas, concepts of something that cannot be conceptualized is embraced. It's intimate, impersonally, because it already is. And this quietude that appears as sounds, that appears as movement, that appears as anything at all, there's this sweet embrace of a home that was never left. A home that is not a personal idea of what the home is. So in this suggestion, it challenges any conventional views of non-duality. Although there's nothing wrong or right about anything, it sees everything as it, even position or no position. It's not a personal idea of what is, it's just what is. So there is no future goal here. There's no dropping away. There's no deconstruction. There's not even a dismantling because it's already the case. But there's also an openness to that. What seems to arise is what is, although what seems to appear is already is. So this impersonal embrace is identified as an ever-present grace, always accessible. It's always here, but no one's know it is here. It has nothing to do with any ideas, yet it appears in all ideas. So this sweet, sweet embrace is not about the individual, the apparent individual trying to embrace, but recognizing what is this open space, this open field, this empty stage, this vast ocean of radical acceptance, that it accepts all the waves, this emptiness that accepts all the thoughts, not a rejection, even when it's rejection. That's what I meant, sorry. So what is this that already embraces all? It's unknowable, but it's home. Not for anyone, not the idea of home, but home as it is. Home with doors wide open, always welcome, even if you want to leave. So this apparent insight challenges the traditional teachings, or no teachings even. It debunks the notion that this intimacy without a second, of what cannot be separated, is a future state to be constantly pursued, a seeming position of me or no me. A sweetest embrace is not a task or a spiritual homework. It's an ever-present appearance waiting to be rediscovered over and over again with the apparent current experiences. It's not the denial. It's not a bypassing, although that might appear as it, but this is a full embrace of what already is. Even the rejection is embraced. Even the non-acceptance is accepted. It's just what it is. It's the powerlessness that is power. The peace that does not need to be comprehended because it's always here. It's always profoundly this. It's not contingent on any hope, any motives or expectation. It is just this without any opposites. It's beyond the opposite. So this suggestion or revelation is not a call for a belief, but an invitation for this curiousness, this innocence. Like a baby watching the world, not understanding separation, but just curiosity of what seems to appear separate, but it's not really separate. It's just an embrace, a subtle embrace of what already is. This is not to urge you to embrace because this is impersonal. This is not a doership because there's nothing to do. But if that arises, why not? That's also embraced. This is the exploration of recognizing like a deeper sense of everything is okay, even when it's not okay, and that completeness. Oh, let me answer that question in a bit, sorry. So this beautiful relaxation and peace that's indescribable, this sweet embrace of nothingness and everythingness, the narrative, the stories is also what is. The anger that rises and disappears is also embraced. The fear that comes up, of the fear of the ending of the seeking and realizing that it's just an embrace of whatever it is, including the unknown. and this intimate, impersonal embrace of two and not two, simply because it's never been separated. In this directness, when the words come and go, when ideas pop up and pop out, when concepts are exposed as what they are, in the coming next sessions in 2 days, it's a seeming dismantling of the fantasy of separation. There's nothing wrong or right about it. But this is wide eyes open awakeness, but not for an individual, not the idea of what awakeness is, or not even that. It's just this seeming suggestion that everything is already the case. It's dismantling the idea of unawake or awake, or me or no me, or any separateness that seems to be rejected because there seems to be a knowing of what needs to be understood. This is the grace of unknowing, the beautiful expression, the innocence of it all, the wondrous exploration of something that cannot be fully explored, the questions that will come and go in this next couple of days. It's like a delicious buffet, a feast. But for the just a feast that it's already the case. It's delicious, salty sometimes, sweet, but it is what it is. And there's just this openness to whatever seems to arise. This all-encompassing what isness. The non-embrace transmute into this open, wide openness, sweet embrace of what is, defying any logical and rational understanding. It's like reading between the lines. It's hearing the silence in between the words. It's seeing the stillness in every movement. Although this is saying way too much, because it's already the case ad infinitum. Yet, in this next couple of days, there's a suggestion that what seems to arise that seems to obscure or block what already is this sweet embrace of home, always home, may be seen through with clarity, with openness. And if you have any questions, please go ahead. Sorry, the chat's not open yet, but now it's open. There you go. Thank you for this, Emerson. There's a tingling sensation that I can't understand what seems to be going on. It's just a seeming reaction to something that already is. Who knows, really? If you want to raise your hand, you can. There is a raise hand function, or you can also, oh, sorry, the chat was not open again. Sorry, my mistake. You can also type your question. Maria.
Hi.
Hello.
Um, that was kind of emotion. Um, yeah, I've been I've been doing some work around like the kind of um like psychosis that I had a
Yeah.
few years ago. And I think what touched me in what you said was that the part about um like everything being okay.
Yeah.
Um I think when I listen to stuff around non-duality and like a lot of spiritual teachings, it's like it's like as if there's like me and then this like massive abyss of like utter like loneliness and desolation and just like being like a rock out in space, and then the kind of enlightened people. And it's like it's kind of the rhetoric around like the dropping away of the self or like an
Yeah.
impersonal love. And I think what happened in my seeking days was that there was such a like violent attachment to those concepts
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it was like really traumatic for the psyche almost. And so I guess it's like I think what's happening a little bit more and more is just kind of this like there's just quite a big disbelief in this in the inherent safety of life.
Yeah. I get that.
And so
Yeah.
that's why there's just like every time I have like glimpses, it'll just, and then obviously I think that that's not the glimpse when it contracts again. But yeah, it's just so I don't know. Wondering if you'll speak to that.
No, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. What seems to be appearing, right, is that there seems to be a lot of opinions and gatekeeping on what already is. So there's going to be various, ideas about something that cannot really be comprehended. And so what comes should be, not should be, what should be expressed as just all inclusiveness creates this separateness. I don't know if you know what I'm saying, that there is something
Yeah.
wrong, and that there's something that needs to be fixed, that there's something that needs to fall, or something. It's always gonna like attacks the unworthiness of the character, right? It triggers that, and there's something missing, and they keep on going to these meetings over and over again, hoping they can fix something that already is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big embrace here though, saying that's the theme.
Yeah. I think it's good. I think they're good tears.
Yeah, they're good
But
tears. Yeah. It's again, you know what? It's the seeming kind of like a idea that something's got it better than me. That the
yeah.
speakers, the teachers, there's pedestals that appear that I need to get to that state. How do I become a no one? How do I drop
Yeah.
the idea? How do I get rid of this contraction? But what seems to be just a suggestion becomes absolutes to people that are seeking, right? This is what needs to absolutely happen for me to stop this suffering. So it's almost a rejection of something that is beyond the scope of what's being talked about. So it includes everything. It's like the half dreaming, half awake kind of like thing. When you're having a horrible dream, but there's also a sense that this is also not happening, that
Mhm.
okayness with that. But there's also this immensity, like the sometimes it becomes really intense when there is this dream that feels absolutely real, right? Just the
Yeah.
same thing as what seems to appear as reality. You know what? It's not a rejection of that. So if seeking help in psychiatric, that's also what is. Having some normal friends outside of spirituality is also what is. So there's a lot of trying to fix something that does not need to be fixed, and it creates this idea that there's something wrong with me, that there's something missing with me. And I've said this before, spiritual seeking is kind of like almost like a psychosis, like a neurosis, because it's always seeking what already is. And there's always a belief that someone knows it better than you. So a lot of the teachings are operating from not knowing, but what is knowing really when it comes to what's being expressed here?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's this soft, subtle ordinariness that's always constantly here. So sometimes it becomes this packaged idea of what it should be. It includes all the messiness.
Yeah, because I've been like doing just kind of doing things that help me on a daily basis,
Yeah.
and they really seem to lift me out of these kind of heavy depressive patterns.
Yeah.
But then at a certain point, it gets neurotic, and then it gets fearful and neurotic, and then like last night I just like couldn't sleep again because I was like. So it's kind of like how does one find the balance there between like
yeah. It's the embrace of everything, even that seeming idea. Yeah. It's the embrace of everything. It's the all-encompassing embrace. Even embracing the rejection. Even it's, but there's no doership. There's basically no chooser, right? Even if there's appears to be a choosing. So even embracing in what choices you made, even if there's no choices that was made. Does that make any sense? It's an all-encompassing, it's a wide open embrace. It's the unconditional embrace of what seems to appear.
Sometimes when I hear that, then I just go into like this kind of dissociative cloud where I take it on as a concept, and I'm like, oh, I never have to do anything again, and I can just
It's
lie
not
in a ball.
personal though. It's not a personal thing. Yeah, it's an impersonal embrace, but it can also appear as a personal embrace. Does that make any sense? It's like a let's use the ocean thing, right? There's this wide open ocean that's ocean of stillness or whatever, right? And the ocean of stillness, just because you're looking for it, rejects all the waves.
Right.
But the wave is also the ocean. It's not apart from it. I do this, right? Looking for the stillness in the bottom of the sea, and there's going to be these waves disappearing. That's the same. They're all water.
Yeah.
It's like the wave is looking for water when it's already water. So even that sleepless night is also it. You know what I'm saying? Even whatever seems to appear is just this impersonal embrace, acceptance of whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because it's in those nights where those feelings of loneliness get triggered, and I'm just like, so terrified, actually.
Yeah.
Just like what the fuck is like, what am I doing here? What is happening?
Of course,
existential terror, basically.
Of course, yeah. And that's like tsunamis and giant waves and everything that seems to appear sometimes. I used to have panic attacks, over and over and over again, because I'm looking for the next wave to calm down. When the big wave is already it. Any waves that appears it. Yeah. There's no doer in the wave. Yeah, it just appears. So it could be this gigantic anxiety that leads into a panic attack, right? Because it's looking for the next wave that's still. It's looking for stillness, but it's already that too. It's kind of like looking for water when it's already water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it splashes around and gets caught up in that giant waves and everything. And the next day it's low tide.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Or not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, the stillness is in the
Yeah.
movement.
It's almost
Yeah.
like going against whatever seems to be happening, which is kind of like almost like rejecting what seems to appear. And that creates, and that's what I did. I'm like, okay, I used to get into an anxiety because I'm like, I'm waiting for my enlightenment to happen. Okay, it's going to happen next. The me is going to drop. Enlightenment is going to happen. And then the seeming kind of like response to that, it will never happen to me. It already happened and I wasted it. That kind of thing. It will never
Yeah.
happen
Oh my God.
twice.
Yeah.
You know, all that narrative, right? It's just waves and waves and waves and waves and waves of something that embraces everything.
And it kind of all comes from that wound of unworthiness in a way. Like
It does. Yeah, it does. That there's something missing. But something missing is a part of everything.
Yeah.
There's something lacking is a part of everything. Unworthiness is also a part of everything. And there are going to be moments that you feel completely worthy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no one talks about that.
Huh.
There's going to be moments that people are like, I love your music, Maria. But you don't talk about that.
No, because
It doesn't talk about the stillness, but it talks about the tsunamis and the waves and the whatever, you know what I'm saying? The downpour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the unworthiness and the worthiness is a part of the same ocean, the same sea.
And sickness and health is as well.
And seasickness too is a part of it. And feeling healed in the salt water is also it.
That's nice. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Please do not read my no, I won't. If you directly message, I don't call out the name. I'm seeming to be having a lot of difficulties because I keep on coming in and out of this meeting as if I'm not really here. Am I going crazy? Or what are you saying? Is it true that there's no one here? Nothing that I'm saying is true or false for that matter, because all of these words are just seeming obstacles or obscures or made up stuff of something that cannot be made up. So the seeming glimpsing in and out is the seeming experience of something that is already, it's almost kind of like seeing what is that cannot be seen. Seeing the naturalness of what seems to be appearing. And then what seems to be not understood creates this. It's almost like when it's seen that this is empty, but no one sees that it's empty. It's just emptiness. So the emptiness and the fullness, the emptiness and the fullness comes in and out. But please talk, contact me later. Yeah, if you're having some of this, and just keep in touch throughout the 2 days. If you're here for the 2 days, you can call me in the in between the breakout. Oh, sorry, iPhone. Big tech problems. iPhone keeps recording, can't stop. No worries. You can record. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's hard to understand that there is no chooser, like it is unto itself, all of it. You can say that there's a choosing appearing, but there's no chooser behind it. You can also say that there is an individual, seemingly appearing, but there's no one behind it. It's not one or the other. It's all simultaneously. And that's why there's a lot of confusion, right? Because when this is expressed, there's this clarity that there's no one doing any of this. but in appearance, it looks like someone is doing it. You can also say that the recognition of what always is, there seems to be an absence of the recognizer. It's just a recognition, a knower or an experiencer. But when the knowing comes in and claims that this happened to me, then it becomes something that becomes a narrative. What seems to appear is not a narrative, and it appears as a story right now. That's why there's always a changing of words, so that there's no point of stuckness. Is something that cannot really be comprehended, because what the tendency of thinking is to either this or that. But this or that is all this. There's no separation between this or that. Even separation is just a word. Even this or that is just a word. So if all of those words are revealed, what seemingly is behind it, it's really just this unknowableness. And some will try to attempt to call it awareness, energy, whatever words that seem to encapsulate something that cannot be boxed into any idea. And in going back to what's being expressed earlier, that sweet, intimate embrace, like there's no other. That coming home is always on offer. Not to anyone, but it's always here. It's seeing everything as it. It's that that all-encompassing noticing that everything that is appearing is already it. Oh, hi, Casey. There's a question here. I feel like I'm in the movie Fight Club, waiting outside the house for days and days, waiting to be let inside, but I will not be let in until I prove myself by giving up. That also appears as that. That also appears of not it. That's what I mean. Even that is embraced. It's not about someone embracing it. It's just this impersonal embrace of everything that appears. It's that deep, 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 deep acceptance of whatever it is, but there's no one accepting it. So it has nothing to do with you. For that commenter, it has nothing to do with you inside or out. It's just a thought. Hey, Josh.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I
just
just
a
wanted
second.
to,
Just a second. Go ahead, Josh.
yeah, I just wanted to say hi.
Oh, hi, Josh. Just a
I
second.
don't really have a question. My dog's gonna go crazy.
Hey, Josh.
Uh,
How was the
hey,
beautiful sunlight? I mean,
great.
yeah,
The sunset,
the
yeah,
sunset. Yeah.
yeah.
I love your
Um,
place. It's a cabin, right? You said it's not, right? But it's beautiful.
yeah, it's not a cabin, but it's the walls are like
I
that.
love it. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna try to get a wall like that for my next sessions. Let me see your doggy.
Can you see him? I can't
Hi,
really move the camera, but his name's Tojo.
Dojo.
Yeah,
Hi,
and
Tojo.
but I don't usually talk during meetings.
Yeah,
I think I told you. So
yeah,
it felt like the right thing to do. Kind of like
yeah,
at the meetings last week.
yeah.
And yeah. Uh yeah. You had
Beautiful.
mentioned um feelings of unworthiness, and I've noticed a lot of that coming up, but it doesn't feel like it really matters. Like I'm aware
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Um it matter there's a sense that it something thinks it matters, but also that it
It's
doesn't.
it's it's
Yeah, it's just
transparent, right? It's almost like
right.
something that just comes and goes. It just appears and disappears. It's just slipping in, slipping out, right? It's
Yeah,
very, it's almost like a mischievous trick, right?
yeah,
You know, when
yeah,
when there is really no one to be worthy or unworthy to be in that case, right? It's just this flux of things kind of like happening and everything. And sometimes it gets when that coming and going is held on to, right?
Uh-huh.
Then that becomes the roller coaster ride. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because
I'm
it was
glad. Yeah,
it was like at the meeting last week at
yeah,
the in-person meeting.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's like a lot of comparison and stuff like that, and it felt
yeah,
real at the time.
yeah.
And that was coming up, but yeah, it's just like it's just
It's
what's happening.
it's just like
Yeah,
waves now, like like that
yeah,
coming and going, like like that shore crashing through in and out, and it's just that. And
yeah.
it's
And sorry.
no, go
Um,
ahead.
um, yeah, there's moments where everything's just like really funny, really
Yeah.
kind of silly. You know, I can't really
Yeah.
put my finger on it, but it's yeah. But I guess that's all I have to say. But I appreciate the meeting
Beautiful.
and the message. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you,
thanks.
Josh. We'll talk again soon.
Yeah.
Oh, the puppy. Take care, man. Thank you for coming.
Thanks.
So psychological processes and that feeling of belief releasing, what's that? It's also what is. There seems to be an appearance of processing. There seems to be an appearance of letting go, but it's already accepted, meaning it's already done. And it's beautiful. And it's beautiful. It's almost like noticing things that comes and goes now, but there's no one holding on to any of those anymore, right? It's just this beautiful display of duality when there's really no duality. So duality is embraced as it is. It's not, it's this impersonal embrace that it's just all empty. Not as a dissociative thing, you know what I'm saying, but seeing that even the processing is empty. But that's also it. That's also it. There seems to be, and I talk to a lot of people that I've done one-on-ones with, and you know what, it's a lot of purging. It's a lot of releasing. It's a lot of, sometimes it's grief. Sometimes it's holding on to. It's kind of like getting stuck, in the roller coaster, and you don't know when it's going to drop. Have you ever had that? You're stuck in the, and then you're holding your breath a little bit, and it goes down, and then you're screaming at the top of your lungs again. So that could appear as a processing. But yeah, it's the normalcy of what seems to appear as it is, and the clarity to see through delusions of grandeur or illusions of separation. But at the same time, being just ordinary about it. Nothing special, not an attainment, not a conclusion. Thank you, Cheryl. Can you explain that there is no chooser again? Let's go a little bit more direct. So chooser or choosing is just a thought. So the chooser is just a thought maintaining a thought that seems to be choosing or not. So in this autonomous that's happening, there is a thought that I am choosing this. But if it's seen, saying that there's really no separate chooser, or there's not even an individual that chooses, the chooser is also seen as just another idea of someone doing this or that. In the absence of thought, if we collapse everything, meaning that there's no words or thoughts that can be used, was there a chooser or no chooser? It doesn't matter really, but it's just another idea. So this directness that is being spoken about It's just that there seems to be this or that, but it's just this singular illusion of something that is not appearing as it is, but it's also as it is. And it's hard to comprehend that. It's actually incomprehensible because it's already what it is. Meaning that everything seems to be normal. There's really no questions or answers to anything because everything is just appearing as it is. Yeah. So choosing appears as an idea of you doing it. And then if you go behind that, even the idea that there's a chooser is just another idea. So it's just ideas about ideas to maintain an idea that the idea is real. But even the idea of reality is also an idea. It's just all this structural makeup, it's make-believe. Everything is just this fantastical appearance of something that cannot be comprehended. And that is exacerbated by words and labels of doer, non-doer, because words tend to kind of basically express that there's dualism, that there's an opposite. Is it normal to cry all throughout this meeting? I haven't stopped crying since you started. You can call me later. Yeah, just you have my WhatsApp, so I have my phone now, so yeah. Sometimes this is just a story as well, right? Sometimes there's just a purging of belief systems that seems to appear, right? Or there could be just laughter because it's illogical. It doesn't make any sense what's being talked about here. And that's it too. Everything is it. Yeah. It's not sadness, it's happiness. Oh, okay, then that's a good thing. Hey, Gunver. Hello.
Hi, Emerson.
How are
Hi.
you?
Yeah, I'm good, good. You?
Excellent. I was running today, feeling super healthy. Yeah, really
That's
good.
good.
Yeah.
Good to hear. I just wanted to this thing with choosing.
Yes.
So like before, if there was some kind of thing happening that maybe got me upset or got me angry, I would sort of like be with it the whole day, and it wouldn't, it would just hang around the whole time.
Yeah.
And the character would seemingly go about it.
Of course. Yeah.
But now there's more like this thing that you just mentioned, like whatever happened, okay. But there seems to be a chooser in that. Do you understand? Like,
of course, it's gonna appear as sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like for instance, if somebody says something and I get feeling rejected or sad, then it's like, okay, I just like, but there seems to, and then it's dropped. But there seems to be someone in that end dropping that, now there's somebody who became good at dropping whatever. So there still seems to be someone choosing in that seeming moment.
Yeah,
So
it with the thought, it seems like there's always someone choosing in every moment, right? There's always going to, because in time, what I'm saying, there's going to be a cause and effect. There's going to be a choosing or not choosing. But if you look at the structure of time and the idea that thought is appearing in time, when you see that there's really no time, it's an illusion. So even the illusion of cause and effect, choosing or not choosing, collapses as well, right? So it's, of course, there's going to be an appearance of choosing, but really there's also no choosing because it's just a thought that appears in this timeless appearance of something that cannot be comprehended.
Yeah, that's what's that's what's trying to in a very subtle sense is that choosing is apparent in that moment. Like, okay, there's just somebody seeming choosing to drop that, where before there was somebody who was just chewing it all day on it all day long.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I remember that, right?
But they seem to be the same. Like there's still a chooser.
Yeah, but that's just another kind of like thought.
Okay, so it's a thought that thinks that it's choosing.
Exactly. Yeah. To
and
maintain
that's
that
what's believed in.
Yeah, because there's always going to be this sense of reality here.
Yeah.
Right. So the sense of reality will appear as billions of colors and everything, right? But this is really colorless.
Okay, so let's say that seeming apparent choosing, that thought that says there's a seeming apparent choosing, is keeping alive that character.
But there's also no character. So that's another thought.
So it's just what's happening. It's just the way it runs.
Yeah, you can say that just choosing happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
simple.
It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it's just a thought. No. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you'll have a thought that, well, I'm the one choosing it because, and then the thought will just keep on going and going and going because the moment that gets ignited, right? It's almost kind of like, that fire is stoked. It's almost like throwing kind of like gasoline to a fire, right? It just keeps on going and going and going. So for example, who is choosing? And then you'll say that, well, I am choosing. Why am I choosing? It's because that's my identity. You know what I'm saying? It just keeps on going and going and going and going.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but on the other hand, this choosing seems like an impersonal choosing, where before it was very personal.
Bingo, that's what it is. Yeah.
So there is an apparent choosing, but it doesn't seem to matter.
There's no chooser. There's just choosing. So it's like a verb, right? Yeah.
So choosing is happening.
Choosing is happening. Yeah.
But for no one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everything is actually, everything is actually a verb.
Yes. I like the way you say that.
Actually, it is, no? Like if you take anything out of all those words, anything personal, it's all just verbs, or what you say. I don't know.
Verbs,
grammar,
like just movement. Yeah.
So
drinking, eating, choosing, crying, laughing. It's just this seeming what is this appearing as that.
Yeah. And that's the impersonal version of what we tend to take personal all the time.
Bingo. That's what it is. Yeah. So it's almost kind of like, at the moment that there's identity, and there's nothing wrong with identity. This is not about, the moment that there's a grasping, right? So I am doing this. It's just what's happening. To really, really simplify it, right? Just kind of like, crying is what is happening.
Yeah.
And then the moment
that grasping that makes it kind of like, now I'm choosing, or now I'm whatever.
The one that commented here said, that's what's happening with me. Crying is just happening. And I don't know what it is. When the idea that came that, is it sadness and everything? I think it's happiness, but it's just happiness happening as well now.
Yeah. It's also just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's going to be a why. Why am I crying? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the thought comes in.
Yeah.
And again, there's nothing. It's not a denial. It's not a rejection. It's just seeing everything almost like really sober.
Yeah.
Because we get intoxicated with the ideas of the thought that will just keep on running. It becomes a little, it becomes a blog, then it becomes a podcast, then it becomes a series. Then it becomes a trilogy.
Then it's a serious addiction already.
Yes. Then it becomes an anthology, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then you just
then you have 10
forever.
volumes of your thought about, seeking what is when what is already is just simple.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And it just keeps on going and going and going and going and going and going.
But that example with the one who wrote to you about crying, the minute it was suggested to her that was actually, is it a happy or sad crying?
Yeah, exactly.
The thought grows in her. I have to decide.
Right. Because it's stoked, right? Yeah, it's kind of like.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Because you can also say that it's just really, and the person said, it really was crying for no reason at all. And I was just surprised. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia. Loving this meeting, M. Is it me or are you getting clear with what you're saying? I just directly, just direct. There's no prior really, right? So maybe it's the new lighting. And the camera, the new camera, yeah. I don't know. It's the same joy that expresses this over and over again. It's already the case. Yeah. Thank you. What do you think of I'd rather not comment about other teachers or speakers. It's all good. It's all good. All good. Yeah, all good. Let me change the question, Emerson. If there's someone that is preaching superiority, what do you think of that? It is what it is. It's it is what it is. It's also the same in like religion, right? Religion, there's always going to be, biblical characters that, yeah, it's just, then there's this, then it reinforces that there is a higher and a lower, so to speak, or an idea. Yeah, but it's also what is. I'd rather not comment on it, if that's okay. The expression that's being expressed here, that it's home, this embrace. Yeah, even not commenting is the embrace of something that cannot be embraced. Can you talk about the war that's going on To be honest, I don't really know much about what's going on. I don't really pay attention to the news. But there's nothing wrong with not wrong or right with paying attention to the news. There's sadness when I see pictures of kids that are suffering, right? But I don't know sides. I don't know the narrative of both sides. It's yeah. So there's sadness that seems to appear when there is, a child that is, in the middle of all of this, in the story, of course, yeah. Is it wrong to do something about it? Doing something about it is also it. And not doing something about it is also it. It's sad that there's war happening. Yeah. Hi, Emerson. Here seems to run a seeking. Got it, lost it, cycle running. How to end it? Because if you really look at it, what seems to be seeking is just like a neurosis. If you look at the neurosis, that someone has to get to somewhere, is almost kind of like this blindness of what already is. So when it's seen that there is just a sweet, all-encompassing embrace of whatever seems to appear, then there's really no such thing as losing or winning, right? Because it's not contingent anymore on the person getting it or not getting it. It's seeing the ordinariness that it already is the case. In the absence of ideas, the absence of the words that we use, concepts that appear, what is seeking other than a construct? And if you look at, if a seeking is a construct, then surely there must be no seeker. It's just a happening. It's just an occurrence. It's an appearance. It's a coming and going. And there seems to be a continuousness about it, which is the neurosis that something is lacking over and over again. But something is lacking is also a part of everything. So there could be a suggestion that there's just a seeming shift in perfection, that whatever is happening or appearing is already it. And the seeking is just basically a rejection of something that is not acceptable to the seeker because it has an idea of something that's better than this. But what this is, this intimacy, this radiant emptiness, or insert floral word here, whatever is seen, that's nothing to do with thoughts or you. Because it's already here, regardless if you think it's here or not. Regardless if you seek or not. It's always the case already. But keep on asking, Patrick. Hey, Patrick. Here to say to my favorite vegan speaker, oh, hi. Hi. That was a secret. Sorry, I almost revealed who you are. My vegan friend. I'm going to have fried chicken after this, but yeah. Okay, Nick. All right. It's Nick again. Hi, Nick. Why are you always hiding behind the direct message? I'm just kidding. But I do drink vegan water. Hi, Emerson. Every time I attend this meeting, I feel really great, but I'm already worrying about the last session. The last time this happened to me, I was really, really peaceful. But how come I'm afraid to do a one-on-one with you? I have no idea. There's a funny thing that there's characters that are scared of this speaker. I don't bite. It seems that these live meetings with more people are more powerful than just watching a replay. Is there a peer pressure of convincing that there is no one? I have no idea. It's the radiation from the screen when it's live. Just kidding, just kidding. And again, it's just the idea that this live, happening here, that there's something really live that's happening. No worries, Nick. Oh, hi, Ben. Hi.
Hey there, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Great meeting so far.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful intro, and the sharings have been good. I was wondering, TikTok has been sending me a bunch of stuff. Like, it's so funny when I see it. It's weird and also kind of amazing, and also a bit disturbing how it seems to really follow interests, I guess, but
Yeah,
or sometimes seemingly lead interests. But a lot of these, there's been a lot of free will stuff coming up in the science community now that
there is. Yeah,
it's
there
become
is,
very
yeah.
popular. I forget the guy's name who just wrote this
Dr.
big book
Sapolsky.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's getting a tremendous amount of acknowledgement of and generally agreement. But so one of the things that in this conversation between these two scientists about free will, and this is actually I guess it's related to free will, but it's more about cause and effect. So I wanted to know about, just hear what you have to say a little bit more about cause and effect, because this one guy was saying basically that, he's saying, and I'm going to butcher it, but that there can't be free will because, and I'm not debating free will because it's clear here there's no free will, but
yeah.
But the scientist was saying something that sounded really compelling to me, and also a little bit unnerving, in that the whole universe seems to operate, or anywhere we look seems to operate via cause and effect. That a current state, like you say, the blips and stuff that coming in and out, that whatever is coming in, let's say, is based on what came in before it, so to speak. And if you knew enough about all the variables and everything, you could even theoretically predict it or whatever. And I guess we do in everyday life. But the point is that so it seemed like, and they made very compelling arguments that
I think I've
everything
heard that
that's occurring is due to
a precursor,
a precursor, whether it's you say a cause or a state that happened before. And that actually, when I heard that, I had two reactions. I'm like, one is that it made it seem even more logically, and maybe a little bit felt wise, that there's everything that's happening is without a me, whether it's
autonomous, isn't it?
It's exactly. So the one kind of side question that just is that that seems to be, it's hard for me to, that makes a lot of sense to me, but the cause and effect, but hearing in the kind of uncompromising message, there is no cause and effect or whatever. But so I want you to talk about that, but let me just finish about my reaction to it. So with the so I'm like, wow, that's science again, proving that the me is not doing anything. Everything, whether they say it started with the Big Bang or any of that, but that whatever was set in motion, or whatever was seemingly set in motion, seems to be determining what is apparently arising. And my conclusion to that was, okay, well, then that's even worse news for the me that I feel myself to be, as far as there being a chance of it, in this mind body, of the felt sense of a me not being there anymore, some clarity into the insubstantialness of the me. Like, it's like, oh boy, it was always like, it may happen, it may not happen. Now it's almost like predetermined. I still don't know which way it's going to be, right? But it's predetermined.
But that's a trap that you set up for yourself, right? Because you know what, it doesn't make sense, because you just say that it's autonomous. So if it's autonomous, there's already the thing that you have control of is
I don't think I have control.
Okay, but you think
I'm saying,
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just saying that whether or not in this mind body there's a
but there's
arising of a go ahead.
But there's already no you in the, I don't even like calling it mind body. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I don't know what language to use, but
because you're trying to put concepts together when what's being talked about cannot be conceptualized. Let's clear it a little bit. Let's clear it up a little bit. So there seems to be an appearance of cause and effect, but without the observers, they're cause and effect.
I don't know. I don't know. There's, as you say, these, the blinking in and out, the blipping, all it seems to suggest is that whatever is blipping, the call it empty, but context, flavor, attributes, whatever that is, was seemingly based on the blip before it. That seems to be like, I don't know. I'm not, but
I think I know what you're getting at, Ben. But keep on going. Sorry.
It just seems that it's even it just feels even worse news. Like it was always for the felt sense of a me.
Yeah.
It was always bad, kind of troubling news for speakers to say, when I speak to them about it. Well, look, sorry, go
ahead.
The me may fall away or not here in this localized, whatever you want to call it, this right here.
Yeah.
The sense of a me may or may not drop. There's no me there. It's a dreamt, or it's a function, or whatever.
Yeah.
But in some mind bodies, sorry to use that. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm trying
That's
to say
right.
not just
No
try
worries,
to remove it once away from
That's okay.
a person,
There's-
a human. But
it's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
there's a number of speakers, or a number of people not even speaking, where there's clarity. There's clarity into the kind of the true nature of the self and things, and the unknowability and all of that.
Mhm.
And then in most others, there isn't the clarity. There's a very strong sense of the me being real. And I'm talking about, so that whether that felt sense of a me is not here anymore at some point, at some apparent point, it seems predetermined based on the science of cause and effect somehow.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't mean that I know which way is predetermined, and I'm not even sure it's predetermined, but it seems that way.
It's the same idea as, that there's a me that needs to drop away. It's just really a thought. And again, there's just a belief, that I'm saying, it's just another concept. There's no me is another concept.
But it seems more than a concept for me.
But which is also a concept.
It feels so, I feel so real. And not.
But isn't it just another belief?
I don't know. It feels more than a belief.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a belief there, but it feels like there's something very I feel real. And the thing is,
and there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with that?
I don't know. There's been a very thinning of I don't associate, at least consciously, anything with me. Like, I can't do anything. That's clear. And I'm seeing that just throughout the days and throughout the day. Like, I can't really do anything. Things are just happening. But there seems to be this real I that's living in the body. I don't know what it's made of. I don't know what, but it feels like an I talking right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel very real. And that's despite on the simultaneous, or that's despite thing. Like, I don't know why I feel so real, because
is what's wrong with that?
Because there's a lot of suffering that comes from that.
Okay.
How is
the real correlation to something that's, suffering then? How's real and suffering correlated? What ties them together?
What ties real and suffering together?
Yeah.
I guess it's like, we talk about just there's a natural human response to, move away from discomfort and move towards comfort, or to, and the suffering just feels, it's like I'm a narrator, it's like I'm not an awareness, but it feels like all I'm doing is, I'm like this ghost or something that's living in the body. It has no substance. It has no shape. But it's just, it likes and it doesn't like. It wants and it doesn't want. And it's powerless to do anything about those wants.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're saying what's wrong with feeling
real? Yeah.
Real.
Yeah.
It just seems like a lot to me of suffering. That's what's wrong.
Is it because
extra suffering?
Is it because
that comes from the me?
That's what I'm saying. That's because you believe now that there's a me that needs to drop away to relieve that suffering.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So why do you believe that?
Because it seems apparent to me in many other people who speak, speakers and other people I've spoken to, where there isn't that sense of a me. It seems that there is not a bliss, not a life became all of a sudden
Yeah.
amazing. No, all the hardships and struggles and joys, the whole cornucopia, but without the extra story on top
Yeah.
of it that can be so painful and heartbreaking.
But what if that's just your idea about them?
I don't know what you mean, actually.
What if that's just
my
your thoughts
idea?
about others? Yeah, just a thought about others. And there's a comparison of others that seems to have it better than you.
Um,
Or going a bit further, there's just a belief that there are others that's got it better than you.
okay, let's say for the moment that that's true.
Yeah.
What of it?
Then you're just basically chasing thoughts after thoughts after thoughts about something that already is without in the absence of thoughts.
Something that already is in the absence of thoughts.
Yeah.
So the me feels real in the absence of thoughts. The me still feels real.
No,
It
not
just
really.
feels so.
According to who?
I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
it's just a real felt sense.
But yeah,
I mean, I've heard
because you're mistaking this felt sense of separation from this felt sense of a me. There's no sense of a me here because there's never been a me. There's a sense of separation, meaning that if I hug somebody, you know what I'm saying, there'll be a separate person that I hug. If I walk, there'll be a floor that I'm walking to. If I eat something, there's going to be something. So there's going to be this felt sense of reality. It's not about getting rid of that. Otherwise, you'll be walking through walls or you'll be comatose in a bed. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense, right? But someone has an idea that you believe now, you know what I'm saying, that there has to be a me or no me. Why there's so much talk about a me when there's no me already?
I think
It's almost kind
because
of like a indoctrination.
um I mean, one of the first non-duality talks I heard was this a couple years ago was the interview between um, Sam Harris and Jim Newman.
Yeah.
And even Jim, not even Jim, but Sam was basically saying, people are drawn to spirituality in this because they're, well, I guess lots of reasons, but ultimately there's discomfort. There's
Yeah.
yeah, there's this, and Jim, he said they want to be out of suffering, and sorry, Sam said they want to be out of suffering, and it was something like, like, how does this message, the uncompromising message from that Jim was speaking about, how does it improve suffering, so to speak, or whatever? He says it depends what you call suffering. He says if you call suffering, he says, it doesn't, all the normal stuff still arises, as far as pains and emotions and situations, good, bad. He said, but if you call suffering seeking, he said, yes, that goes.
Yeah.
And other people have spoken, that there's a lighterness or a more of lightness,
Yeah.
or the
So
peace to path, this all understanding, all of that.
So there's a neurosis that there is a seeker that's seeking this when there's already no seeker, so to speak. It's just seeking appearing. It's just what seems to appear as this something to get, like a desire to get an ice cream. But if you look at what seems to be appearing, right? You know what I'm saying? There's a belief now that the seeker has to drop when there was no seeker in the first place, that there is a me that needs to dissolve or something, or there's a contracted energy, is what I hear over and over and over again. And it's trying to know how to get there. It's trying to understand what's being said. Even though it's being expressed over and over again, there's nothing to understand because it's already the case. So rather than seeing that this is already the case, so even if it appears that there's a real feeling that there's a me, it's all construct. There's a, you know what I'm saying? Then there's a continuous idea that there is a reality called a me now when there was never a me. And it becomes this solid belief system now, but I feel it because I hold glasses and everything. And it just becomes this almost kind of like an indoctrination that there's something that needs to happen. Although it's contradictory because it's always expressed that it's already the case. So which one is it? It's contradictory because there's already no me. So which one is it?
Yeah, that's what makes it for me personally extra hard to hear. Like, because
because you're hearing contradictions.
No, well, I don't know whether it feels more than belief that there is no me, and yet there's my experience is there's this very strong felt sense of a me. So yeah, it's kind of being in a dream that you can't wake up from, I guess.
Yeah. You know what? It's that's what it is basically, right? There's no one to wake up in the dream. You're trying to wake up to hope that there's someone that wakes up in the dream. And that's the same idea as enlightenment, that has to happen for this to be okay. So this is basically directness that it's already the case. And it's almost like dismantling that fantasy that there is, that there is an idea that there's something that needs to happen to you. Although it's clearly that it's being expressed that there's already no you outside of a thought. And the thought that it's real, the thought that it's going to be so persistent, because reality is an illusion, but a very persistent one. And it will just support a thought after a thought after a thought after a thought. And it's just really going directly, right? Because that's just still swimming in concepts. It's just swimming in ideas. This is just basically kind of like going directly to it, saying that all those ideas are made up. And just becomes a belief system, kind of like when someone believes that, like in a dream, for example, you can believe that everything is real, but when you wake up, was there anything real at all?
Yeah, when you wake up, you can see that no, but if there's no waking up, then you're in the dream. Period.
But there's no one in the dream already. So who's dreaming? So what's being expressed? Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. No, I don't know. All I know is how it feels. I'm trying to not say not get into I'm trying to avoid concepts and stuff. It's
but it's all concepts. You can't avoid it. It's all concepts. No me is a concept. The feeling, I'm saying, it's all a dream. So there's no part of the dream that's real, and there's no part of the dream that's not real. It's all a dream. There's no other part of the dream that is non-concept, and there's no part of the dream that's non-conceptual. It's all a dream. It's almost trying to create this idea that something, has to happen, and it makes it real. It reinforces that there's a me in the first place. And that's what suffering happens, is because there's something that needs to happen. And it's reinforced in every single meeting.
Yeah, it's hard not to be reinforced when when there is this sense of, maybe in the way to say it is the sense of me is a sense of me, whether you call it a thought or thoughts and a felt feelings, physical feelings, or whatever. It's arising in the moment. But it's just what's happening.
And again, it's just coming into some more ideologies and everything. And what's being expressed here is just not words and not thoughts and everything. It's just the directness that, there's nothing that I can say that can convince you, because there's no you to convince of what's being said here. And that's the directness of this, that, that it's already the case no matter what. So no matter what you think, no matter how you feel, because even the experiencer of all of this is illusory. So it's going to maintain that idea that that something needs to happen, because that's the illusion, is reality. So it's going to feel absolutely like there is a me and everything, and that gets attached into that something needs to happen. That's why I'm suffering. So it's this loop that keeps on going, that something needs to happen. There's someone that needs to wake up, someone that needs to drop, someone that needs to disappear. But it just reinforces over and over again a duality, even though what's being expressed is non-duality, meaning that it's already the case no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll
We'll chat, Ben. We'll chat, Ben. I'll message
sounds
you.
good.
We'll chat.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hi, phone.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
I was really relating to Ben. I get what he's saying, know, and that's what happens. The seeker, yeah, because see, the appearance is very vibrant, very, very vibrant. And when you get stabbed in the back in the appearance, it shakes you up, and you're like, "What was that?
Yeah,
Why did that happen?" So after a while, whatever, when things settle, there's no way, nobody did it, she didn't do that, whatever, it does get a little bit easier to let things go.
Yeah.
And, it gets a little bit easier. But for somebody who's got some anxiety disorders or issues or whatever, there's perseveration, days of perseveration. Why did it happen? Why did she do all this stuff, even back to the point of it's your karma.
Oh,
honest to God, I went back to it's your effing karma.
Okay.
I did. I'm not going to go through the whole freaking story again, but this,
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. So
I don't really want to share it right now. Maybe some other time. I sent you the picture. I guess you never saw it. I texted it to you. I thought you might want to share it with Casey or Kelsey, the photographer. I figured you, I sent it to you with permission to send it out.
Oh, I did not,
Well, you probably didn't even look at the picture because you never responded.
I don't know what happened. I don't really know what happened.
Well, anyway, it was, it was 2 weeks ago now. It's time to bury the hatchet, so they say. Anyway, I'm glad I can count on you. You know what I said to myself, though? When you didn't respond, I was a little ticked off. And then I said, you know what?
I didn't really know what happened. It was just a picture. He
can't come to an opinion anyway.
Yeah.
He could never say, oh, that's bad. Oh, that's good. Oh, I laughed. You could never come to an opinion because there you are, there's no, no, I'm not here. There's nobody here. It's just what's happening. No point. No, what do you always say? There's no center or something.
No, that's just another story. You know what I'm saying? Opinions can happen too. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't know what you're talking about. Oh, the picture. The picture.
So anyway, I said to, I was okay with that too. I was like, because, I sent the picture to a couple of other people.
Okay.
And
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Non-duality people. What's that term? Non-duality people. Anyway, and nobody could really respond. It's okay. They were like, wow, something was like, oh, or something like that, but nobody could ever come to an opinion. Okay. And, I've dropped the opinion now. It's 2 weeks later, but in the appearance, that's what I'm trying to say with Ben. In the appearance, things can be so freaking come through this something in the body, in the physical body, and then the mind, whatever. And so I do, I can relate there that, know me, whatever, me, know me. Still, in the appearance, me comes back sometimes, and it's horrible. Anyway, and the other thing Ben said that I thought maybe you could expand on is And I feel the same way. When he said predeterminism or predetermined, he said then, yeah, I get the same feeling every time somebody says it's already done. I get the same feeling. It's like, boom, it's done, and it's like, geez, it's like a whole big explosion. It's already done. It's predetermined.
Well, predetermined is just another idea. So I don't even know about that. You know what I'm saying? It's just another concept. So a concept, is just running the show seemingly, right? Because there's a concept that there's something that needs to fall away, and it gets backed up by another concept that it's predetermined. So it's just swimming in more concepts. And again, what's being expressed here, kind of like over and over again, that it has nothing to do with concepts. It has nothing to do with understanding. It has nothing to do with coming up with something that needs to happen, or kind of like the same thing is coming up with predetermined, or that there's a me that needs to fall away. It's just concepts. Yeah.
I like that word you used in the whatever the advertisement, grokked. It just can't be grokked. That was great. I was like, did he smell?
So
what kind of word?
It's
Anyway,
trying to grok the ineffable basically over and over again, and that's what seems to appear. You know what I'm saying? When there is an idea that something needs to happen.
Also, anyway, can you then expand on it's already done?
It's already done. It's very simple. It's very simple. Yeah. Whatever seems to appear is it. Whatever seems to appear is it. Even if you don't think it is
I
it,
had
that's
something
it.
more.
Yeah.
Excuse me, say it again. I'm sorry.
So even when you think it's not it, it's it.
It's already done means it's it. It's already it.
It's it. Yeah. It's always it, no matter what is it. And it doesn't
See, it's
matter.
already done
Yeah.
was like, I started thinking, like when this situation occurred, I started thinking at one point, and I laughed because if this had when things like this happened in my past, I was always, I have to learn from this. There's a lesson here. I have to learn. And then when I said it's already done, meaning there's nothing to learn. There's nowhere to go. You can't go forward. You can't go backward. You can't effing learn. It's already done. But you're just saying it's already done. It's just it.
It's just no matter what is it, learning, not learning, it's always it. It doesn't matter.
Learning,
it's always
not learning.
It. It doesn't. There's already no duality in non-duality. It's just whatever. Even get rid of those words is always it. Right? It's just, again, you know what I'm saying, what seems to appear. And I'm going to share this, right? I do one-on-ones now, and then I'm getting a different audience. They don't talk about the me. It's so shocking, right? Because, and you know what I'm saying, they don't talk about contracted energy. They don't talk about any of that, right? There's a different language, and it's just a different belief in languaging again. And it's shocking.
What do they talk like? What do they talk like?
Suffering, separation.
Oh, suffering. Yeah, they're seekers. They're dropping. They're going free falling. Yeah.
But there's no one's caught up. No one's caught up in the idea that there's a me that needs to fall away. Only except radical non-duality characters. And it's in it. I'm kind of like, oh wow.
I'm not caught up in a me that needs to fall away. I'm not caught up in that at all. I'm not caught up in that, but I can't explain it. Like I said, after this happened, there was after perseverating for a couple of days, afterwards, there was like a lightness. It was like, and it just was funny. And there was like a lightness, and it was, I don't know if it's my age, like if it were 20 years ago, if I'd be like, I'm going to go back and get vengeance, which I can't get anyway, because I'm not sure exactly who it was. And then I was really rough with the speaker, and a week later now, I feel like crying. And then I'm like, no, you shouldn't feel that way. So it's back into me in the appearance. It doesn't go away. And then you just laugh and you say, well, he's not there either. He's not in.
Well, Kathy, let's do a one-on-one. It's time to do kind of like, so you can just say the names and everything. Let's do a one-on-one soon. You know what I'm saying? I'll call you. I'll call you because I know that I'm beginning to get what it is. You know what I'm saying? Of what's happening, but we'll talk. We'll talk. I'm sorry that happened. I'm sorry.
I didn't know if I could even say that kind of stuff on Zoom. I don't even know if it's
that's what I'm saying.
right.
You know what? Let's chat. You know what I'm saying?
But if it's okay, I can say it out because I don't really care. If I had a Facebook page, I told the speaker, I said, I said, I guess I don't know if it's on your Facebook page. And I mean, if I had a Facebook page, because I said you could tell people now because I was at the meeting. Well, it was Zoom.
Yeah.
And I said, if I had a Facebook page, I would put it out there. I don't care. I mean,
so go for it.
I don't really care. It's no big secret.
Yeah.
Everybody whoever I contacted, said, oh yeah, there's a dick on your face.
Oh yeah.
So they were calling me Dick Face.
I'm sorry about that. And this happened with the retreat or whatever.
Yes. It's what it's at the retreat.
What did the speaker say about it?
Huh? Excuse me?
What did the speaker say about it?
Oh, he kept saying he didn't know. I said there were 12 people at the meeting. One man was the one that sponsored it at this place in the city. I said, and if that woman took the photograph without showing you, then you should get on the phone with her. I mean, if you have if you had a meeting, I'm sure you have meetings. If somebody's sending out a pornographic picture, wouldn't they show it to you first? Emerson, this is funny, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
you're the
speaker,
not
Yeah, that's for this character. That's not acceptable. You know what I'm saying? It's
that's what I'm saying. It's not acceptable. I didn't find it acceptable at all. Yeah. So
I'm sorry that you went through that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but we'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
But that's why I'm saying.
Yeah,
the me
of course.
Is in the appearance, and the me is this sadness, this anger, this happiness. That's other than once you drop the seeking of, Jesus Christ, forgive me.
Yeah.
Or, kissing the guru's feet or whatever place you're at.
Yeah.
Once you drop that, now you're still stuck in the appearance. The me is still in the appearance. And I mean, I'm pretty much of a hermit.
I don't even think about the me anymore because there's no such thing, right? And I try not to.
I know.
Really talk about it in my meetings anymore because I do one-on-ones and it's almost undoing all that structure and belief and everything. So when there's clarity, when I talk to someone with the one, when it seemingly pops out, I ask them, was there anything such a me or contraction or any of that? And the answer is always no.
Yeah. Well, I know, but I'm just saying.
But there's this belief, like heavy belief that is supported sometimes by maintaining that there is something wrong.
Absolutely.
Not saying that, but there's still a contraction there. And it's just
or
repeated over and over.
Or something beautiful, something absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And the me is there all of it. It's the appearance.
Yeah. It's almost like a vocabulary now that seems to create this happening, right?
What?
A vocabulary is just a word now. It's just a word. You know what I'm saying? And everything can arise. It could be frustration. You know what I'm saying? It's just frustration. There's no me behind it.
Yeah.
It's just what, you know what I'm saying? And that's even calling it way too much. That's also what is appearing as frustration. It's what is appearing as whatever. But when you insert another idea that there's a me that for that to drop, then you think that you won't have any more frustrations anymore. Then you think that there's, you know what I'm saying? That's the danger sometimes when there is basically becomes dogmatic.
I just thought things, the presentation, I'm not saying you, does appear there's this enlightening. It's not, you know, when these grievances happen, there's a lightning. You know, you're not going to hang on for 7 days, perseverating. You know, there's a lightning, you know, that's what I would think. That's how I've been thinking. But then once you get a real trigger, just get one real trigger.
Yeah, especially somebody that has gone through anxiety, you know, that's rough. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
Well,
and I'm sorry that they did that to you. That's not
Well, who
acceptable.
hasn't gone through anxieties?
Yeah.
That's like a common, it's just like a common, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, there's no sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. Nobody did anything. Who gives, don't be sorry.
But you know what? That's the thing, right? There's another belief that there should be no sorry and everything. That's just another belief, right?
Yeah, but there's no sorry. There's no sorry. There's no intent.
Yeah.
There was just, didn't even happen. It was just a dream.
Yeah. We'll talk. You know what I'm saying? And we'll talk.
Thank you, Emerson. We'll talk.
Thank you. We'll talk. Yeah. But I'm sorry that happened. That's not cool. Casey, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, just what was I gonna say? Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah, this message. I did.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Chopped it off.
Cool. Yeah.
Much cooler now. It's getting a little toasty here in Texas in the Christmas time for some reason. Yeah. But anyway, this message, dude, is so triggering. And
what message?
So there's no message. Whatever we're apparently talking about, right? Can seem triggering. Yeah. But there's so many different parallels with it. It goes to just modern psychology. And I'm seeing kind of like just within the patterns of the story of the character here, my life, the patterns are just avoidance of pain and suffering. And that's so fucking natural. Of course, we want the me to drop away so we don't have to feel the sting of this reality. Well, it's going to sting, and it's going to sting harder when there's less resistance. But that's not going to go away, maybe.
But again, you know, I'm saying, kind of like thinking that there has to drop away, that it just doubles the ante, that something needs to happen. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's already sucky. Seeking is already, you know what I'm saying? It's already insane, you know what I'm saying? Because what seeking is already it, you know what I'm saying? So, and then there's kind of like this something that needs to be enlightened, as something that needs to happen. What about just the clarity that what seems to be appearing is already it? And rather than denying it or dissociating from it or just completely saying that it's not happening, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, no matter what is it. It doesn't matter what I say and everything, right? It's just the clarity that it's just what is. Yeah.
And that's unacceptable to a certain energy, you know, and that's also what it is and stuff.
Because you know what, there's already a seeker that is going through a lot of seeking unworthiness, and it feels it gets bullied that it has to drop something. You know what I'm saying? It has to, there's still something wrong with it over and over and over again.
That's
when
reinforcement.
What is being expressed here is just, it's already perfection. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. And there's a grasping of what needs to be perfect, but according to who, when there's really no one here?
Yeah. Another way of saying that exact thing is just, what if, like, you kind of just like rhetorical question to yourself, because that's all this is anyways. Just like, what if the me drops away, whatever that is, and nothing changes, and the suffering is the same, or it gets worse? What would that mean? Like, or you know, just anywhere, like, what if that? And then whatever comes up, man.
Yeah.
You're also
what if we just
that.
get rid of the idea of the me dropping away, right? Because that's just,
that's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
It's extra already.
Again, you know what? I've done so many of this one-on-ones, and it's irrelevant because there was no me to drop away. It's just the subtle ordinariness of what is, and it makes something special when it's not. It's already what it is. Yeah.
This energy, there's a certain energy that feels
What's
like
even
it needs.
energy? You know, I'm saying this
Who
is
knows?
just going really,
Who
really
knows?
directly with this now, right? No one knows. And if there's an appearance
And
of someone
yeah,
knowing an
yeah.
authority, then that creates a gatekeeping of something that already is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can't help but express ourselves in whatever way we do. And so the gatekeeping may naturally happen and shit.
Yeah. Then it's just really duality pretending to be non-duality, right? If there's gatekeeping.
I don't know. That's the thing. I mean, right? I would love to say, yeah, totally. But that it kind of feeds that energy a little bit of like, that wants to know. And you know what? Like, I just don't think it's ever possible to really know anything at all, ever.
But that's just another knowing.
That's just another knowing. But if you say like, hey, what if you can't
because
ever
knowing
know
is
something?
Duality, you know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing to know because it already is. Yeah.
When I'm talking about right now is actually not non-duality. It's exposure. It's a way to overcome neurosis, certain type of neurosis, where you're just exposing yourself to the thing you fear most, which is whatever you fear. Like, what if I don't drop away? Or what if it's not even saying that's real or not? It's like, oh, that's a fear.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll never happen.
That's the neurosis, right? It maintains
that
something.
Neurosis? Yeah.
That it maintains that the neurosis maintains that there's something needs to happen when it doesn't have any basis. It doesn't have any basis, right?
Yeah.
So it creates this other ideas of something that's a precursor or something kind of like a connection of something that does not have a connection.
Tries to make a basis. It tries to make a basis in some way.
It makes a reality out of nothing.
Yeah. It's fucking beautiful. All right.
Thanks, Casey.
Amen, brother.
Thank you. Maria. Hi, Maria.
Hi.
Hello.
I was noticing how like the whole thing of the the whole thing of the self falling away, not falling away, and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that, and like the stories, and it's kind of like, is because when people are saying that, I'm like, falling away and fucking, I've been to so many meetings and blah, and then it's like it's like literally arguing for my own suffering.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It is. Now I have a name for my suffering. It's called a me.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't know how strong my me is. My me is the strongest me. And whatever you say,
it's like an argument. It's like a complete argument that, it is. And it's negotiation, right? It's
yeah. And
yeah.
and then I had a real compassion for that, because I was like,
oh, me too. That's why there is this trying to express clarity, saying without the entanglement of ideas and everything of what should and what could happen and all that kind of stuff. Because after several kind of meetings of one-on-ones, what seems to be really clear is that it's just an entanglement of seeming ideas and everything. And I was really surprised when it was just like seeing that from a different camp, they don't talk about that. It's more like they're trying to find a true nature. That's what it is. And I'm like, oh, wow. Which is basically the same thing. Yeah.
It's like an away from and a towards.
That's right. It's the polarity, right? I am God. There's no God. Awareness, nothing. I'm saying it's just all of these opposites. Me, no me. That kind of thing.
That's
self,
really actually,
no self. Yeah. And
that's
it's just
for me to hear, actually.
Yeah. It's almost like, when especially when someone has seen the polarity of everything that seems to appear, right? When it's seen that, okay, and it makes for that case of their position. So my position is that there's no me. My position is there's no me that needs to drop away, but whose position is it? And the other position will be, my position is this is all awareness. This is whatever, but whose position is it? It's just a whole bunch of positions. Even no position is a position. Even no story is a no story. It's the same illusion.
Yeah.
It's trying to say that While in this illusion, this one is real. No, that's an illusion. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. And and it's really sweet, because then it's like, and then when my my not able to not be a self is threatened.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like then it's like
So
I get
in
really
the opposite side, they're looking for the higher self. You know what I'm saying? I want to find my true self. And the opposite side is the no self, which is all made up.
Yeah.
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 So that's very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And understandable.
It's understandable, right? Yeah. It's kind of like seeing if you step back, you see the whole picture and you're like, oh, wow. All of it is it. All of it's an illusion. Yeah.
And the threat, there's just, it's that very sweet, what I noticed in myself, that very sweet, like, it just doesn't want, like, I just don't want to die.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's just this, like, well, immediately when the defenses come up, it's, you know, and it's just like, I get it. Like, of course. It's
of course,
okay.
Yeah.
That's it too. Like, yeah. And then I guess what we do is, or what I do anyway, is that comes up, and then it's like, no, but there is no self. There is a self. And it's kind of just like.
So the same thing that I say with the people, that there's a self, basically what I tell them, there's no such thing as a self. You know what I'm saying? There's, you know what I'm saying? It's just, there's the same thing. There's no such thing as a no self. It's all ideas, right? So it's basically sobriety in all of the stories of non-duality. There are many stories of non-duality. None of them is true. It's all stories.
And even that's a story.
And even this is a story. Bingo. I kind of like what I was saying in the introduction, is that sweet impersonal embrace of whatever it is.
Yeah,
not a doing, not a doership, because, you know, there's already no you know, saying it's just really swimming in the Gunver said it's all narrative. Yes, it's just swimming in the narrative. So the narrative says that there's someone wrong, there's someone right, there's someone better. You know, it's all narrative, and it maintains the narrative that there is a narrator.
The overlord is what I call them.
The overlord, yes. And there's just this contentment, this impersonal contentment of whatever it is. That's basically it. It's really natural, and it's just ordinary. And there's so many intoxicating things out there that appears. You know what I'm saying? So many intoxicants and so much fantasy appearing as whatever. But it is what it is, no matter what it is. Thank you, Maria. Well, this title is becoming true to its word, I guess, is dismantling the illusion of the individual. The apparent illusion of the individual, that there's something that needs to happen. Speakers, teachers will always say that there's nothing that needs to happen because it's already the case, but yet it contradicts by pointing out something that is not there, which becomes a trigger of something that is just not, no cause and effect, because it already is. So what's being expressed here is that even non-acceptance, even rejection is what is. It's all-encompassing embrace of whatever it is. So even the rejection, that there's whatever seems to appear is it. It's not about, kind of like with that, going back to that, now that you mentioned it, Ben, you know, I appreciate that, because when I was in spirituality before, I thought I had to get rid of everything, including anger, including frustration, whatever seems to arise. What spirituality suggests is that it should be just this bliss and everything. But sometimes what can also appear, you know, saying when there's a suggestion, they're all suggestions. And when suggestions becomes a belief, a system, it becomes absolutely real. I kept on hitting my head over the wall over and over again because I'm like, this still feels real. And I was waiting for it to not feel real anymore. Real and not real are all made up. So it's not about going to one side to negate another. It's the all-encompassing embrace of what is appearing. We're going to continue this talk in an hour. I'm hungry. I need to eat something. Thank you so much. Hunger is happening, but there's no one hungry.
You're too
Thank
hungry
you so much.
to know what you're saying, dude. Go get food.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you. We'll see you back in an hour.